Well, good morning once again. So this time we are going to be working on my fans. So these are the fans that came off the printer. I just removed them from the printer because, well, I don't have any other fans to work on right now. I actually soldered onto the board. I didn't use the existing wire. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So these are the fans that came off my printer. Real fast, I'm going to use my soldering iron. I'm going to desolder the wires from the actual fans themselves. Alright, so now that the fans are good, you're going to want to test the polarity to see which polarity makes the fan spin correctly. You could have marked it before you desoldered it, but I'm going to hook up the ground and the yellow for 12 volts, and I'm going to probe the fans until they spin. The yellow is 12 volts and white is going to be my ground. So I'm going to take my ground, I'm going to take my 12 volts, and I'm going to plug it into the fan. Same thing on this one, it should be ground on left side and 12 volts on right side. So, to start off, I cut 2 black and 2 red wires. So I'm going to put the ground on the left side, I'm going to put positive on the right side. Pretty much to do the zip wiring, you're going to just hold your wire with a pair of pliers, and you're going to close your drill and make sure the wire is as straight as possible when going into the drill. And you have a perfectly wound wire. You want to make sure that the wires are touching the solder that's already on the board. So you're going to grab your iron, and then you're going to push the solder onto the wire while you're heating it up. I desoldered all the connections and I resoldered these 2 connections right here. So now from here I'm going to wire the other one and then I'll show you how to run them in parallel. Alright, so now that I have both of them wired up, I'm going to test them before I do anything else. Ground to ground and red 12 volts. And if you can see, that fan's spinning just fine. Ground in 12 volts. This one's also spinning just fine. And you can run 2 of the same connectors together as long as they're running in parallel. So running in parallel, both of the connectors for 12 volts are going to go into this one pin here, and both of the connectors for ground are going to go on the same pin as well. And when you do that, both the fans are spinning. And man, that's some airflow right there. I love it. So now that I tested both of the fans and they're working just fine, I'm now going to wire in an interface. Both the reds to the red terminal, and both the blacks to the black terminal. And just to make it look consistent, I'm going to zip wire this too. Alright, so the secret to making this look clean is this right here. You see how the red lead is longer than the black lead? On both of them, I did that. The black lead is longer than the red lead. And if you put these together, they don't touch. They're really close, but they don't touch. So when I wire these straight together, I only have to use one piece of heat shrink tubing because it's going to cover all of the wiring and none of the wires are going to touch. I put it on here first, keep it very far away from where all the heat's going to be, and now I'm going to solder red to red and then black to black. First, to make sure it stays together, I'm going to put a little solder on my iron first and drip that into the wires. And then what I do later on is I go underneath and I heat the bottom up and I put the solder in from the top. Alright, so after it's all settled together, you can take it off. So that's what the connection's going to look like right there. That solid mass of molten metal. And so now I'm going to solder the black just like this. So you see how the connections are off-centered from each other? Before you shrink the heat shrink tubing, what you're going to want to do is you're going to isolate these connections. Now the reason why I had them offset is so that it would kind of taper off to give you a more visually appealing connection. So I'm going to isolate just the black connection and then I'm going to put the heat shrink tubing over there. As I go through the middle right here, and I tried to leave the red terminal out of there just in case the electrical tape comes undone. It's not going to try to still contact that. So not only is there an offset, this is also isolated from the red connection, and now I can put the heat shrink tubing through the top. Alright, so now that's looking all good. And of course, before you put it on the printer, you want to test it one last time to make sure it's doing its job. And the fans come on. The connections can't contact each other because they're off-centered. So that's why I do it like this. Makes for a very clean connection. I know that the polarity is correct now, and I can wire this back into the printer. So you can see on this side that real clean zip wiring. That's why I use that, because when you tie the wire up like that, it makes it look so clean.
Before I, go to print something out, I'm gonna first test this to make sure it's working with the printer. All right, so after you wire everything up and it's all ready to go, you're gonna go open Cura, go to your printer user interface, and in the G-code terminal, you're gonna type capital M 106. And when you hit enter, you should see your fan spin right up. And to make sure it's working properly, go back to your G-code terminal and type in M107. And when you hit enter, your fan should shut off. And of course this is working for both fans, I just have no way of showing you the back fan as well. But that's how you wire the fans up in a parallel circuit to have dual cooling fans. So I hope this video helps you wire up your fans to get dual coolers on your 3D printer. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be doing more and more hardware videos just like this one real soon.